I forgot my Cracker Jacks in the other room. Hello, everybody. We're live for this week's episode of Late Night Crap Talk. Hola, everybody. Tonight is going to be a fun episode as every week, but this one's different than the others. We're kind of doing STEM, which is like science and TEM, whatever the rest means. Because I'm breaking out at the moment because I'm blonde. But tonight is a sciencey science episode. We're going to science the heck out of the evening for it with everybody.
It's going to be fun, you guys. You may learn something, too.
Just may. Remember to share.
Okay, let's see here.
Sharing is caring. Everybody share the show.
Episode of Late Night Crap Talk. You guys, you may learn something, too.
Well, was that a quantum echo from the past?
My mom's asking if we're going live. We're live right now.
All right, we're live.
We're live. I assure you we're live. You want me to share it to your Facebook, Messenger?
How do I find it?
Hi, Chris. You're live on air.
Right.
Awesome.
Here.
Oh, I have to go that far down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you take one of the dogs out with you?
Ow.
Make sure it's the one that tastes good. All right.
Yeah, so we're gonna start sharing all the stuff here.
I'm starting to share myself.
What out? Come on.
Tonight's guest is Curtis Youngberg, amateur astronomer, and he's going to be sharing some of his astrophotography tonight. And tonight's going to get real cerebral. That means smart things.
I'm even sending the link right now to Curtis so that he can share it.
Awesome. That's what I'm getting ready to do myself.
I just sent it into the chat that we had together, so you can forward it from the messenger. Okay, let's see here. Let's share this. We're just working on sharing, you guys. If you could share this, you and your friends would probably really enjoy this show. It's going to be a lot of interesting stuff.
I am getting ready to share myself. All right, who else we got watch right now? We got several people. Hello, Vivian. Hello, my lucky dragon. That would be Christy Nieto. Pure awesomeness. I am typing, and then I look up and go, how did I type that?
Okay, I'm going to tag a whole bunch of people. Let's see how many people let me tag this time.
Before you end up in Facebook jail?
Yeah, because it's so funny. It doesn't let me tag a lot of people sometimes. I'm tagging all the people I normally tag. Okay, let's see. I'm going to tag that.
Trying to get the live going. There we go.
Yay. Oh, Christy's so sleepy.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I'll be right back.
All right, everybody. So tonight, as I'm typing to share, I've got a couple of minutes. Tonight, and I'm kind of serious about this, I'd like you to remember a few things, because we are talking astronomy and some science tonight. Remember Newton's third law of motion. For every reaction, there's an opposite and equal reaction. I believe that's it. And then also remember Einstein's theory of relativity, how it deals with space-time. And I'm actually, I'm trying to do an overview with you so that I'm saving you having to Google things very last minute. And we'll look at aerogel, if you want to Google that for the next couple minutes. It is a very low mass substance that's used, that's created. And what else do I need to do as a primer for tonight? We're throwing a lot of cool stuff at you tonight. Remember, the sun is a star. The moon is not a planet. And we're going to be talking about Pluto tonight. And if you want to know that, asteroids, one thing to also keep in mind tomorrow night, there's an asteroid that is 1,200 feet wide called Apophis that will be traveling within 11 million miles of the Earth tomorrow. It's called a near-Earth pass, or from a near-Earth asteroid, NEO. Let me think of some other stings, because we're kind of giving you a little brush up on science right now, just because tonight all your gears will be turning tonight, and you'll be talking a complete sentence after the show going, I feel smart. And you can watch the movie Interstellar and understand it. While waiting for Savia to come back, All right, so we have Vivian, we have Christine Nieta. Who else do we have watching right now?
Okay, I'm back. Huh.
Hello, you're back.
I had to run across the field and come back. So now I'm back here.
Was it a field full of like flowers and you went like skipping along?
Yes.
And romantic music playing?
I thought to do that before we had to sit here for like an hour.
Right. Every week we sit here for over an hour and it never seems that long.
I know, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this show's already over. Like, it's already the end of the show.
No, it's not, because it's not even 10 o'clock yet.
I know. I know. So yeah, it's just, oh my gosh. So, but today was crazy. We had a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Actually, so for those of you who know me, I was really stoked because I was able to get the purse I wanted on the website that I buy my purses from. That sells out in a minute or less.
I wasn't able to get the purse I want.
Well, I tried to get yours, but they sold out even faster.
Did you hear the news today
about how they're going to possibly open Disneyland on April 1st, which I think is an April Fool's joke?
Well, it came from the governor's office.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of like, it could be an April Fool's joke? I mean, just saying.
Oh, Lord knows I'm going. That is my national holiday. I go nuts on that day.
I know, I do too. Actually, that day is really special for me because I had a dog, my first dog that I ever got ever. Yes. Her birthday was on April Fool's.
I have a friend that lives in Arkansas. He had to move to Arkansas. He's his birthday's April 1st. Somehow I think life pulled a joke on him because he's now living in Arkansas.
Yes. Okay. Oh, guess what, James? Guess what time it is?
It's 10:59. 9:59.
An hour earlier.
It is 10 o'clock. It's time for the countdown.
Yes, let's do the countdown. Are you ready?
All right, everybody, remember, tonight we're going to science the heck out of this episode.
Yes.
10.
9.
8.
7.
6.
5.
4.
3.
2.
1. Let's go.
It's science time. Hi, my name's Earl, and I'm the spokesman for Quarantino's Planetary Defense Contractor Services. Asteroid 99942, also named Apophis, named after the ancient Egyptian god of chaos, will make a close flyby of Earth on March 6th, coming within 10,471,577 miles of Earth. That may not seem very close, but on April 29th, 2029, Apophis will again fly by the Earth, coming within 23,441 miles of the Earth. That's closer than some communication satellites. And Apophis isn't exactly small. It's estimated to be 1,200 feet long. That's larger than a football stadium. Knowing this might spell the end of the world, do you find yourself staying up at night worrying about some near-Earth asteroid sneaking up and destroying all life on Earth? Do you constantly mention to your coworkers that you worry about a comet the size of Mount Everest wiping out humans just like what happened to the dinosaurs 65 million years ago? If so, then maybe you should hire Quarantino's Planetary Defense Contractor Services. When you contact us, Quarantino's will send our snap crew of scientists, high-techy space engineers, and particle physicist specialists to your home to set up an offensive deterrent phased pulsating photonic matter manipulator, also called the ODPPPMM. Approximately 3.1415965359 years before the closest approach to the Earth, our snap crew of property and planetary defenders will set up our giant solid-state laser using ag crystals doped with iridium and neodymium. If you don't know what that means, just pretend I said Kyber crystals. By the time the planet-killing asteroid reaches the Lagrange point, we'll be done setting up a small nuclear power plant to power our giant solid-state laser, or the ODPPPMM. We'll aim the giant laser at a giant solar sail in geostationary orbit, where the photons will push the solar sail toward the asteroid. Now you're probably asking yourself, how photons emitted by a laser have no mass and how can they push an object with mass in space? That would violate Newton's third law of gravity. Not to worry, photons are particles of light and have energy, even though they're considered massless particles. We aren't breaking the laws of physics or disproving Einstein's theory of relativity.
Using a giant solar sail made of aluminized mylar, the photons will push the solar sail to intercept the giant menacing asteroid. How is a solar sail exactly going to deflect an asteroid, you ask? Well, you're right. The solar sail propelled by photons itself isn't going to deflect a giant asteroid that is larger than a football stadium. But our solar sail will be fitted on top with a 3,000-foot giant hand made of aerogel. Aerogel is a synthetic porous material in which the liquid component is replaced with gas, making amongst the lowest density solid matter objects known. The giant aerogel hand at the end of the giant solar sail will reach out and grab the giant killer asteroid and then gently deflect it around your home and back into space. You can rest assured that you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that your home, or your planet, isn't going to be destroyed by a giant asteroid. Although our services can't stop gamma ray bursts, solar flares, large comets prone to fragmentation, novas, dwarf planets originating in the Kuiper Belt, and the Galactus the Planet Eater. If you're afraid of suffering the fate of the dinosaurs during the Cretaceous Tertiary extinction event, then call Quarantino's Planetary Defense Contractor Services.
It's time for Late Night Craft Talk with host Savea Kamori-Yang and James Hermes. This week's special guest, Curtis Youngberg, amateur astronomer. He'll be showing us some of his astrophotography. Astronomers say that of all the planets in our solar system, that Mars is the most like Earth. I disagree. I think Earth is the most like Earth. It's time to start the show. Do 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 dance. Hey, Savea.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. How about
Here.
that cold open? Holy cow!
That guy, Earl, let me tell you.
Earl
trying to
something.
make
We
a
just had
buck.
you wearing matching shirts. By Coinky Dink.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Matter of fact, fun fact on that is that when got done filming that, I showed it to a couple people, just get an eval on it. And one guy says, "Hey, can I show it to a friend of mine?" And I get this message from a guy going, "Can I? I'm a science teacher at a high school in Riverside. Can I play that for my classes?" I went, "Okay."
You're like, uh-huh.
Apparently, we threw so much science out there. He's like, "I want my students to see this." So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Got it. All right. So
We have something very important we want to talk about, don't we?
we have something very, very important we need to talk about. Before or after endorsements?
Let's do it right now.
Let's do it right now. So you want to do the intro on this one?
Okay, so for those of you who watch our show, you know that there's someone in the audience right now that's a really good friend of ours that we love a lot.
Awesome
and we miss
person.
a lot. And we wanted to talk really quickly, and we wanted to highlight Christy. Yay!
Hello, Christy. We wanted to say pure awesomeness.
We wanted you to know that we're thinking about you today and that we really miss you and we wish you the best on your move when you go. And anyway, we wanted to just take a couple seconds to say that we miss you, we love you, and we wanted to share some love for Christy today. So everyone should share some love for Christy.
Heck yeah. Matter of fact, fun thing is that when we need a co-host, if I have to be gone or somebody has to be gone, the rare time, it's been Christy.
Yes.
And when she's on, we're like, yeah, is it going to be a good show or bad show? It's going to be a fun show. It's a blast.
Christy's like, haha, you put James in the picture.
Yeah.
And it's also a terrible picture of James. That's what makes it good.
Yeah, so take them shots.
Yeah,
It's all fun. We all laugh about it. All right. So on to more business. We're gonna get some business out of the way before we move on to tonight's show.
So what's been going on with Elk Rack today and this week?
Still a bit sore from an overnight hike last weekend because part of the business supports getting youth, strong support of getting youth out in the outdoors and experience, hiking and whatnot. And we did an overnight hike in a slot canyon last weekend that was fun, but we went from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. all night, full moon, beautiful. Looks like we were hiking on Mars, which we'll show pictures of tonight, but it was a lot of fun. How's Dancing Bear doing?
Actually, Dancing Bear this week has been very interesting. We cleaned up our store. We worked on getting everything ready, and we actually have guests right now that are able to shop in our store. We had to get some N95 masks because we have a senior who is, at risk. So, and plus we want to make sure our employees are safe. So we have N95 masks for our employees to wear while working. And that's like a big deal. So people can make appointments to come shop at our store because we basically want to kind of spread out how people are coming to our store, so that we don't have a bunch of people all at the same time that have to wait to get into the store. So that's what we kind of are doing right now.
When you say an older person in there, is this somebody over 25 in the store, an elderly person?
Just a hair over 25. Yeah.
Shouldn't they be going through carousel? I'm doing a Logan's Run reference, everybody.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I have,
No,
yeah.
yes?
So, no.
Well, we're trying to do that highbrow smart humor and try throwing some science fiction. already did a cold open that referenced Star Wars and an episode of Star Trek with a giant hand.
Mm-hmm. With the kyber crystals, yes.
And I mentioned kyber crystals, but when we start talking about astronomy, it's such a different sense of humor. These are people that think that, general, lay person is going to think this is somebody that just sticks their head up in the sky or just stares at a telescope all night and can point it anywhere and see, the edge of the universe or the Big Bang or whatever. But their humor is so much easy to appreciate. People don't realize it. Do you think we need a little primer on astronomy humor?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let me get it primed up here right quick. Okay, so to get ready for tonight for everyone, just to get in the mood, and we like to have a lot of fun, here is a few astronomy memes that we picked out with tonight's guest earlier this evening.
Okay, it says the bottom is covered. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, it's kind of doing weird things tonight. All right. Yeah. I love the way the Earth rotates. It really makes my day.
That's really true. That's absolutely true, guys. If you think about it, if the Earth didn't rotate the way it does, our day would be very different, wouldn't it?
It would. Okay, and conversely with that, I got to throw it in there because I'm a smarty guy. Crazy how nature does that, doesn't it? If you're all wondering, it's the flat Earth.
Yeah, because the Earth is flat, guys. It's not round.
Yeah.
There's nothing underneath it. It's just a flat table. You're gonna definitely fall off the edge. You better be careful.
Yes. Okay. I got to tell everybody what we were talking about, Vince, and how we're going to organize the show tonight. I was thinking of doing a flat earther versus science debate with our guest tonight, and he kind of rolled his eyes, going, I'm like, all right, I'm banning that idea. Okay. Next one we have is night sky on a normal day. On any astronomical event, we're like, say,
like an
eclipse or whatnot, clouds.
Yes. Of course. There were a lot of people when we had that full eclipse, just like a couple years ago. People were really upset because they went and spent all this time and money to go to a location to see it, and they didn't see it because of the clouds.
I had a friend over in Idaho that had the same thing, and the clouds opened up just as the moon was was over there, and she had no clouds during totality. It was awesome. All right, next meme we have. Another frustrating one for astronomers, and I can identify with this. When you just barely touch your telescope with your eyelash, whatever you're looking at, adios, the telescope moves. It's like the legendary whenever I'm trying to record something for the show, and that's when the ice cream man goes by.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I remember that in college when I look. So is that what happens when you blink your eye and like you can't see the view on the like inside when you're looking? Is that
when you really zoomed in on something on the scope, you're really focused on something, and just a little move, something, and it's gone. You're like, screaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's not in the actual field of view from the telescope. That's what I mean.
Like the telescope's no longer aimed at it.
Yes. Okay. I got that. I get it.
All right. Now we move on to Pluto. Poor Pluto. NASA. So we found 7 new planets. Pluto's going, isn't that nice? Because Pluto got demoted from officially being recognized as a planet by the International Astronomical Association a few years ago.
Yes.
Neil deGrasse Tyson actually had kindergartners writing to him mad letters to him about that.
I decline to accept that.
It's a planet. We'll get into that. And now we have that moment you realize that Pluto is on Pluto. Courtesy camera still. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Doesn't it look like Pluto? I mean, you guys
It
think
does.
about it. It does look like Pluto on there.
It is not a coincidence. It is the law of the universe.
Yes.
Newton predicted it. So did Einstein.
Yes. And so did Disney.
There you go.
Disney predicts
Life
everything.
imitates art. Science imitates life.
Yes. Yes.
Science imitates art, imitates life.
Yes.
And with that, we want to bring out tonight's guest. We have this week's guest, Curtis Youngberg, amateur astronomer. Y'all get your thinking caps on. This is going to be cool.
Yay.
And hello, Curtis. Welcome
Hi,
to the show.
Curtis.
Howdy, howdy, folks. How you doing tonight?
This is going to be a fun show. I'm so interested in seeing your photography. I love astral photography. It's always been something I've really liked.
Yeah, I've got a few good ones lined up to show you tonight. Some good ones I've taken over the years.
Cool.
Awesome. So what do you have right there next to you? It looks like you're outside.
Yeah, well, being an astronomer, being inside in the studio like you are, it's a little out of my element. So I had to come outside in the backyard where I've got the sky above me.
Where am I at?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot you relocated. My bad.
I'm in my moon base,
You're in your moon base, right?
the Elk Rack moon base.
I actually am in my studio right now with my painting behind me.
Mm-hmm. Very nice painting indeed. What I have behind me, this is one of my two scopes. This is my original pride and joy, the first scope that I got. And it's the one that went with me on a trip up to Wyoming that I'll talk to you guys about later.
Cool.
That would be the one where we're waiting for the eclipse, going to see the
Mhm.
Great American Eclipse.
Cool.
Very same.
So how big is that telescope that you have? Like how big is the lens?
The scope behind me is a 4.5 inch, and it's not actually the lens. It's literally just the width of the scope from one side to the other.
Okay.
Let me take my solar filter off and you can see. So right here, you can see probably way in the back there. I don't know how well it's coming in the video.
You can see a little bit of reflection.
You got a primary mirror in the back that's concave. It's angled in a little bit. It's not flat. That gives the actual magnification. That's kind of the lens.
Okay.
And then you have a secondary mirror here, right at the front. That's angled at a 45. Well, shoot, you know what? I'll just show you.
Hold on,
something
I'm gonna go ahead and spotlight you so everybody can see closer.
All right, thank you. Well, shoot, I'll just pull something up here real quick. There we go. So this is basically what telescopes look like. The one on the left is the one that I have behind me.
Okay.
So you have a
Yeah,
reflective on the
you
left.
have a reflector.
I have a reflector, yes. The refractor on the right is the one that only uses lens. It has a primary lens at the front that starts to bend the light, and it has a secondary eyepiece in the back, a little lens in the back that makes it capable for you to see what you're looking at. Otherwise, the image would be kind of skewed and wouldn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
Just so everybody can understand a little bit and get a little bit of a comparison, the one on the left, which is the reflector, that's the one that's the type that Hubble is. That's up
Yeah.
and been floating around
Same
the
type of
Earth for the
telescope
last
as Hubble.
30-something years almost.
So
That is so cool.
So what kind of magnification do you get on that? I mean, what celestial bodies are you able to see with that with any detail?
this one is good for planetary. It's good for if I want to look at Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, the moon. I now primarily use it for solar, as you can see my solar filter on there.
Yeah.
Makes it great for looking at sunspots or eclipses.
Of course.
Great for
Are
that.
you able to get any detail, like say you're able to actually see, like say the big red spot on Jupiter or anything with that one?
With this one, you can see it, but it's difficult. Like I can zoom it, like you asked what kind of magnification it does. It does probably about 15 times magnification, maybe a little bit more, depending on the eyepiece that I put in there.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. When you
Yeah.
have you ever aimed at like say Neptune or Uranus and get at least able to see the color of the planets there?
I've seen Neptune. I have not been able to see Uranus yet. But
Okay.
We'll with this scope. This scope is a little too small,
Yeah.
not quite wide enough to be able to get a good clear image of something that far out.
Yes. Okay. So we have a question from Christy, which is kind of fun. Have you seen any aliens?
Or UFOs?
UFOs? Yes. Aliens? No.
Okay.
Are you getting technical with the name UFO?
No.
Okay,
mean-
because
I'm sorry, I had to put that in there
because there was a quote that came out the other day that said, just because you don't know what it is doesn't mean you actually know what you have proof of what it might be or
Exactly.
what you think it is. I'm paraphrasing a little.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Just because you don't know it's an airplane, it doesn't mean it's a space, an alien.
Exactly. Just because
Correct.
you don't know what it is doesn't mean you know what it's not. So
Yeah. Where's that effect?
Does this scope have the tracking? Does it track?
it does actually, but it doesn't track with a computer. This one actually uses a very, let me turn it around a little bit. This one uses a very basic motor that's attached here on the side, right here.
Mhm.
And what this literally does is it turns the mount at the same rate that the Earth spins.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally locks the telescope with the night sky. As the Earth spins throughout the day and night and the sky moves, this scope will move with the sky rather than with the Earth.
That is really cool because
How do you set the latitude and longitude on that?
There's no setting. If you'll see this part right here, this is the actual part that turns. The trick to this mount is you have to line that part up with the North Star.
Okay.
As long as you do that, it matches the spin rate of the sky. If you're ever so slightly off, it'll still track, but every like 10 minutes or so, you got to come in and do a little adjustment.
Gotcha. We've seen the scope. We've learned a little about what you're looking at right there. Can we see some photos of what you've actually looked at and photographed for us?
Sure thing. I'll just get into that right now. So let's see. This is a shot of the moon that I took. This is the most recent.
Oh, wait, can you double click it because it's showing your whole window?
Oh, my bad. Sorry, rookie to this. Oh, shoot.
Let me tell you, folks, science.
Science.
Science. Try double clicking it. Okay, open.
And then full screen. Boom. There we go.
We're still seeing all the thumbnails, so you're gonna have to highlight the window.
All right, 1 second. Let me close that out. Do this a little differently.
Yes.
That's fine.
So,
While you're doing
yeah,
that,
So one thing that I know that you can see with the telescope from the Earth for the planets, you can see Saturn's rings. That's pretty
Yes,
cool. Because like when I took astronomy in college, I never thought that you could see the rings, but you can for sure see the rings. It's so cool.
It's actually mentioned that one of the photos that I do have to show is one that I think is the most recent. It actually was taken on December 21st of 2020. If you guys remember what happened then, there was a Saturn and Jupiter conjunction, which means that Earth, Saturn, and Jupiter all lined up nice in a straight line. What that means for us is that we get to see, if I can do this right this time.
it's hard to
We get
talk
to
and get the computer going at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So we get to see both in the same view.
Oh,
You guys
cool.
see that all right?
Yeah.
All right, so on the lower left, you've got Saturn. You can see its rings. And in the upper right, you've got Jupiter and 3 of its Galilean moons.
Oh, wow. That's very cool.
That was the first. That was the first, almost an occultation in like what 600 years?
800.
800. Okay.
Yep. It actually happens once every like 60 years, but usually when it happens, it's on the other side of the sun, so we can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sun
That
got in the way.
so cool.
Yeah. So,
And that's Saturn down below.
Saturn down below, and you have
Okay.
Jupiter in the upper right.
Yeah, the
Unfortunately,
rings are very distinctive on
Yeah,
Saturn.
the
You can see
rings are
3
actually
of.
kind of. It looks like it's kind of.
Sorry. There we
It was
go.
angled a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
It
the rings
is, and then you can see three of the moons distinctly around Jupiter.
Yep.
That is so cool. I love that.
So glad I got that.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Literally once in a lifetime thing, because we're not going to be able to see that again in our lifetime. So I'm
Wow.
super glad that I was able to get that. I had to
Heck
request
yeah.
particular time off of work.
Wow. That is your like priorities. Priorities.
Pretty much.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Fun. Okay, you were going to show us a picture of the moon that you said you took?
Right. Yeah. This one actually was taken at the same time as that conjunction. Like after I got off of Jupiter and Saturn, I pointed the scope up at the moon and had some fun with that. So get that one
So
back
do you
up.
take pictures with your scope?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, eventually, when you get done showing us the pictures, if you have it available to show us the camera, use the mount on the scope to get those photos.
Yeah. See, that was a challenge in and of itself. If like the way that I take pictures is I actually use a cell phone mounted to the eyepiece. I don't actually have a DSLR camera or anything like that that mounts to the scope. I do have a mount for a camera, so once I do get a camera, I'm already set up, I'm ready to go. But camera's the expensive part.
Yeah.
Some of the way the cell phones are these days, they're acting like low-end DLSRs anyway, so it's good
That
to
is
go there.
really cool though. Like, can
Exactly.
you zoom the moon a little bit so you can see like because you could see, look at that. That is so amazing.
Yeah, see, that's why I like taking photos when it's not the full moon, because you don't see the detail of craters at that barrier between day and night. Like, you can
Wow.
actually see depth in some of the craters right there at the edge.
Yeah, that is so
It
cool.
just tells you even the moon's got a golden hour.
Yep, pretty much.
The hour before the hour after sunrise, and the hour before sunset to get those angles, to get those
Wow.
details.
That is so cool. I
So
love it.
as of right now, that's the most clear image I've been able to take of the moon.
Pretty outstanding.
Yeah. Because I asked for just taking a picture with my camera. I had asked different photographers about taking pictures, and they said, "Oh yeah, you just take a picture of the moon and just crop it." I'm like, "Really? Is that going to get the detail of the?" I don't think it's so. I mean, I can't imagine it would.
That doesn't
But
really affect detail. That's just post editing to kind of clear up any of the dead space around the object you're taking a picture of. Because even some of the photos that I took, yeah, I cropped it down too, because you got a lot of like open black space around it, and it's
Yeah.
really not that photo appealing.
yeah.
So yeah, there's a little post editing that does happen. Every photographer does it. It's been done for decades and decades.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like I want to take. I love taking. I've taken time lapse photography, and I just love how there's so many cool pictures you can take of the stars, and a lot of people don't know the stars have colors.
Yeah.
Oh, distinctly,
So,
yeah.
Very much
yeah.
so.
So it's like when you're taking those pictures, you see all of the colors of the stars. I just think that's so neat.
Well, which one is it that it's the hyper giant that's blue? Which star was it?
I think it's Vega, I think.
Might be Vega. I know that like Betelgeuse is red.
Betelgeuse is a red giant. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Betelgeuse is huge. We'll have to touch on that one a little bit.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Oh crap.
Somebody had to do that. Where's Michael Keaton?
Where's Michael Keaton when you need him?
All right. Hey, Savannah, right quick, can you put it on gallery view? Because we're only having one person at a time
Yes,
come
yes,
up on
yes.
Facebook.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. I must have mentioned
There you
you that, but it's just quicker to say it out loud.
Yes.
All right. You got any more cool photos or you want to share?
Yeah, I've got a few.
Oh, yeah, you
well,
do.
Oh yeah, I can.
We would love to see them.
If you want, I can touch on my trip to the eclipse. I can
Please.
get started on that if you like.
Please.
Tell
There's
us
one-
about that.
I will do. There's one thing I'm going to touch on about that eclipse that I absolutely hate. It's how the news portrayed it to the general public. Because, like you said during the beginning, there were so many people that were just absolutely pissed because they went out to a location. Either they got the clouds or they didn't go to a location. They thought they were good right where they were at, and you don't get a total eclipse unless you're in the right spot.
Yeah.
And I've got something to show that's on that right there. So 1 second.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I think it was one of the largest human migrations in over 100 years.
Oh yeah, easily.
Was
100%.
people going to the path of totality.
Exactly, which is what I'm about to show you.
I think that there's another there's supposed to be another total eclipse in like 2022 or 2024 or something.
2026, I believe.
2024.
Look, there's
actually.
the path of totality.
Yeah, this is the path of totality from the 2017 eclipse. It
Wow.
started in the upper left on the west coast in Central Oregon at about 11 o'clock in the morning, if I remember right, Pacific. And then it just traveled across the entire country, west coast to east coast, and terminated is the term for it, in Southern Carolina off the east coast. So
Wow.
literally it was a coast to coast eclipse.
Wow.
To get the show, you had to be in that dark band right down there in the middle. If you were not in that little band down the middle, you weren't getting the show. It wasn't a total eclipse. You still had sunlight, and it was disappointing.
How long was totality? 3.5 minutes or
2.5 on
2.5?
average. There was one spot, I think it was in Central Tennessee, that got the longest at 3:15.
Mhm.
So they had the longest enjoyable show.
what is the physically longest a solar eclipse can last? That
about
totality,
about 3 minutes, because
3 minutes.
that's when what an eclipse is basically, or in this case a solar eclipse, is when the moon's shadow is literally getting cast on the planet and we're underneath the shadow. That's the whole effect. It's the whole thing that's going on.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, it's not exactly a sharp shadow. It's kind of a fuzzy one. It's only sharp right in the middle. And so that diameter of that really sharp total shadow that gives you that full total eclipse, it takes about 3 minutes or so to enter it and to leave it. So any total eclipse, that's about how long you can expect to see the nice, pretty image.
Wow. That's cool. Yeah, I'm planning on going to New York to visit my friend because I think that I think I researched it that it was supposed to be visible in upstate New York.
That's part of it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Path of Totality starts in Texas. It goes up to New York here about 2026, I believe, or 2027.
It's 2024, and yeah,
Okay.
you nailed it. It starts in Texas and it goes northeast up through New York. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I'm
Stars are
going to be
bright,
for that one.
big and bright, and down in the heart of Texas. Going
Yeah, no
there.
kidding.
Yeah, I've been meaning to visit my friend in New York for years now. And she lives in this really crazy, like, I don't know if you guys know about upstate New York, but they have these beautiful, beautiful old houses and they're in the middle of nowhere. And they have these huge, huge properties. They're like acres and acres of land, which people don't think of New York like that. And she's like, she said that they live, and this is totally separate, but she says she lives close to the area where the the TV show Stranger Things was based on. So we're gonna go there.
Oh,
That's
nice.
cool.
I'm
Hey,
like,
we have a report here from Christy Nieto. It says I was in Memphis when the Great American Eclipse happened. She said it was amazing. She also said everyone was stopped on the side of the roads and streets to experience it.
Yeah.
yeah.
There was a lot of social problems with that eclipse because it was causing a lot of infrastructure problems, like people taking over roads, taking over highways, just doing a lot of really irresponsible things.
When I first read about it and saw the path about a little more than 2.5 years before it's supposed to happen,
Mhm.
I actually called up and put in reservations up in Washington and put, for a campground up there, found a private campground and put in reservations. State campgrounds wouldn't take reservations that early, and I knew it was going to get hot. So I found a private campground. They said, well, we've never had anything buddy that early. I said, I like to plan my vacations well ahead. I'm organized.
Yeah.
Whatever, because I don't want to tell them why, because all of a sudden we like ditch you. And so when the buzz started coming around and people were going, oh, we got to go up there starting, 10 months out or so.
Mhm.
I called to double check on it because I called every 6 months. Hey, you still got me. You still got me. And about 7 months out, they canceled they canceled all the reservations and jacked the prices up 5 to 8 times.
Oh my.
Yeah.
At least. And what I was going to pay for $35 for a camping site all of a sudden was 200 and something.
Yeah, the price
And-
gouging that time period was absolutely insane.
Oh yeah,
I
and I tried a couple other campgrounds and I'm just like, I got no place to go.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a pisser.
A little
Kind
bit.
of turned me off, but a lot of good people got to see it. That's cool.
Okay. Guys, I have to tell you, this is really cute. Okay, listen.
Talking the show for Princess Leia. Okay, while she's doing that,
All right. Well, while she's doing
apparently
that, I'll
she's
go ahead
muted.
and,
Let's go ahead and look at one more photo while she's doing that.
okay. Well, I'll mention what my plan was for
Okay.
getting out to the path of totality. I didn't have a succinct plan like you. I didn't plan 2 years out in advance. I didn't do any of that. My plan was literally to check the weather like 2 weeks before and pick the spot that had the best chance for clear sky. That was literally my whole plan. That was it.
You did it the most awesome, the most versatile.
I guess it worked out.
Well,
It
when I
almost
go, I
didn't.
was going to take the parents. They're kind of elderly, and then there's
Yeah.
take them. I just can't go whipping out, just driving out there like that. Not that kind of freedom anymore.
No.
But you were versatile. You were basically just traveling light, like a ninja.
Pretty much just going
Solar eclipse ninja.
as going wherever I needed to go to try and get that clear sky, and it almost didn't work out. The day before, I had the following sky, and it was heartbreaking. I could not believe that this is what I was looking at the day before.
What did you have a picture of that, right?
Oh yeah, I've got 2 pictures actually.
Let's take a look. You were eye on the prize, dude, and you went for it, and you got it.
So this was my sky the day before. That was looking east, where the sun was going to rise, because that's the direction that the eclipse was going to be. It was going to be early morning. And then this was the sky to the west, equally troublesome. equally disturbing for somebody that wants a clear sky for a once in a lifetime thing.
You know that cloud seriously looks like a dog. Like its nose
Old
and its
mastiff,
face.
maybe, yeah, a big old
Yeah,
mastiff.
like its ears are like back.
Mhm.
So did you turn up the gain on your mic?
Yes.
It's really loud.
Okay, hold on. Sorry.
Cool.
So
All right.
I think it's better now, right?
It's still a little loud.
Oh, you want me to turn it down?
Yeah, it's really the volume between us. The difference between us is significant.
Okay, is that better?
Okay, up a hair. Sorry about this in the middle of the show.
Okay.
Okay,
Is it better?
yeah, we're cool.
all right, so just to talk about where exactly I ended up, I was actually in middle of central Wyoming, and I had it on the path to totality that I showed you a minute before. There's a little yellow X on that, kind of on the left third side.
Yeah.
That was my spot. That's where I ended up. I got right under the path of totality, right where I needed to be. My positioning was perfect.
Cool.
The interesting thing about that is I ended up in Rawlins, Wyoming, which is just southeast of there. And that was the last place I spent a night in a hotel. The hotel owner apparently had a spot picked out where he was going to go see the eclipse. And I hadn't got a spot picked out yet. So he was like, "You have a telescope, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Come with us. We got a full barbecue spread. You bring your telescope and you could be our astronomy guy." And I'm like,
Score!
Yeah.
Score, dude. Yes.
Score.
Awesome.
So on the very last minute, I had a spot picked out, or picked out for me more or less, and ended up right on the eastern shore of Ocean Lake, just northwest of Riverton, Wyoming, which is, I'm going to show you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Riverton, Wyoming is in the south of the screen you see now. The little red square next to the lake in the upper left, that was my eclipse camp. That's where I ended up.
Wow.
Were you looking at your scopes going totally worth the money? Barbecue and solar eclipse.
Totally worth the money. Totally worth the trip. Oh my God.
Yeah, totally. It's so cool to see stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I know that for when that eclipse happened, it was really interesting because everyone's saying, "Don't look at the sun, don't look at the sun." And the thing is that if you look down at the ground, I think a lot of people don't realize, but the light that comes through the trees,
Yeah.
they're actually circles when the sun is full. And when you have an eclipse, you actually have that same eclipse on the shadows of the trees.
The shadows were trippy that day. Oh my God, I've never
I
seen
bet.
shadows
Did
like
you
that
see
in my life.
Did you see the waves coming? The waves of darkness?
Yeah. The waves of darkness that are sometimes called shadow snakes because it's like atmospheric ripples like causing the darkness to flutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, saw that too.
Not to mention that, it's just the atmosphere is so disturbed right there where you've got daylight and all of a sudden you've got this huge, intervening event that's called nighttime falling around day.
Yeah.
And how much did the temperature drop? The ambient air temperature?
About 10 degrees.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
It was bizarre. As you'll see in this photo I'm about to show you, I had to jack it up kind of quick. So this is me with my scope set up at the shore of Ocean Lake. Funny thing about this photo, see those glasses I'm wearing?
Those are glasses, right?
Those are eclipse glasses. I could not see the person taking this photo. I had to tell him, "Hey, say something before you take the shot so I know where to look."
Got it.
So yeah, that's where I ended up. That was my scope. Here's a better view of it. Bit zoomed up. There we go.
Yeah, that's a really big telescope. That's not like a little one that you can buy at like Fry's or something.
That ain't no $75 off Amazon.
Nope.
Or Walmart.
But that's also not my biggest telescope. My biggest telescope is twice that size.
Yeah,
Nice.
because I think that we had the ones that are the huge cans when we were looking at the all of the stuff in the sky.
Yeah, Christy Nieto says that she got eclipse glasses from the Science Museum.
Nice. I got mine kind of gimmicky. I got them from Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Oh yeah, Bill Nye.
Why not?
Hey, it worked, and they're very comfortable too. I've got them right here actually. I think. Yep.
Let's take a look.
They are very comfortable, and now I can't see worth a darn.
Nice.
Well, at least you know they're really strong.
Oh, they work. Trust me, they work great.
That's awesome.
But the nice thing about that trip was I got this shot.
Whoa, that's so cool.
That was totality through my scope with no filter. Actually, once it got to that point, it was low enough light I could take the solar filter off my scope and just go straight direct shot.
Oh, dude, the corona is beautiful in that.
I know, in it.
That
There's a
is
little bit of an
cool.
echo you see there. I think that's because I didn't have the alignment of the camera just right
Yeah.
on the eyepiece. But
A
yeah,
little bit of flare there, yeah.
a little bit, but
That's
still.
that's just, you know what though, that shape, that like orb, that happens whenever you have, that's like the reflection of the corona in the lens.
Inside the lens of the camera, yeah.
Hard to
does
get
show.
rid. It's hard. I don't even know. It may be even difficult to get rid of that. But
Just for everybody, for the layman right there, the corona is the atmosphere of the sun. The sun does have an atmosphere. And I don't know, Curtis, do you want to take over explaining that right there? But it's actually the way that the heat works and radiates. It's actually hotter than the surface of the sun, the way the heat radiates through that.
Yeah, the surface of the sun is probably about 2 million degrees cooler than the atmosphere around it.
Yeah.
Like it's
Wow.
bizarre. It's an insane fluctuation between one temperature and the other. They're actually still studying why that happens. Currently, there's a probe that's orbiting the sun. It's called the Parker Space Probe.
Oh,
And it's
Parker
only-
Solar Probe, man.
Parker
Love that
Solar
thing.
Probe, that's it. And that thing is literally just out there to get us close to touching the sun as humankind has ever gotten.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be, I think, in a couple more years as it rotates, because it's going around the sun, it whips around, then it whips around Venus and goes back to the sun.
Does a
And
couple
I think
gravity
it's
assists.
closest in a couple years. It's supposed to work its way, and it's slowly doing that, downgrading the orbit. It's supposed to get within 4 million miles of the sun, which is wow, close.
Yeah.
Considering
Yeah.
the sun, I think has an 800,000 diameter of 800,000 miles, I believe.
wow.
I think it's a little bigger than that.
Might be. Let me. Somebody Google it. Let me know, because I'm going off the top of my head, and I know I'm wrong. I
Yeah.
don't even know. I think I might be ballpark, but somebody Google that for me. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, but that's amazing. That was a really cool photo. Did you see that one photo from that last eclipse where there's a plane going across the?
I got one better.
Oh, you did?
Mhm. The photo I just showed you is not my money shot for that day.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
folks.
You gonna share that today?
Folks, if you want to talk about hitting the lottery for 1 billion, this is the money shot. This is cool. And we haven't
So-
seen it yet. We know about it, but
Yeah, I've actually kept this like to myself. I haven't shared it to anybody. Nobody's seen this. This is the first time anybody's seen it besides my.
Oh, so people are gonna
Oh,
go
this
see
will be
this
cool.
photo for you. Oh, that's really cool.
Okay, so actually, before I share it, little understanding of
Yeah.
what we're about to look at. I didn't know I got this when I got it. I only learned that I got it a couple of days afterward because there's a YouTube channel I follow called Smarter Every Day, and he knew it was going to happen. What I'm about to show you, and he and a buddy got in the right spot, were ready for it, and recorded it. Their quality is a lot better than mine, but I still got it because I was like 20 miles away from where he was when.
now, before you put it up, explain why it's such a lucky shot, even though you're only 20 miles from them. That
Okay,
alignment.
so what you're about to look at is called a transit. It's where one object goes in front of another at a very rapid pace. I've got a couple of transit shots. This one is the most impressive because the alignment that I had to get, this place that I had to be, I was in the one spot in the entire country to get this shot. You couldn't have gotten this anywhere else. And I just happened to be right where I needed to be.
Wow.
So
Oh my gosh,
say
that's
hello
exciting.
Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll.
to my little friend, my space station transit. That's right, the International Space Station went in front of the sun mid-eclipse, and I got it. See that little dotted
Holy
line up?
snot.
See that? That's the space station scooting in front of the sun. Each of
Oh
those is
my
an
gosh.
each of those is an individual frame that I captured in the video when I was recording the eclipse. I extracted each frame and then I put it on top of the sun disk exactly where each one was.
Nice.
Wow, that's so
So-
cool.
So you have the moon in the lower left going in front of the sun. This is in the first half of the eclipse, not in the second half. This happened at about 10 in Wyoming time, had about 10:20 in the morning, 10:25, somewhere in there. And yeah,
There,
That is so cool. You got the space station in there. Wow.
you can even see a little bit in the upper left and the upper right. There's a couple of spots where you can see the space station, like James was mentioning earlier, in the atmosphere of the sun. It's not actually in front of the sun.
Can
but
you
still
zoom
see
it
yeah,
in.
it's
in
right along the
little?
corona right there, the edge of
Sorry.
it.
So let me zoom in right here.
I mean, we're not going to see structure or anything like that, but those
no,
dots.
no.
You
It's
can
not clear enough to see
you
structure.
can make out some shape a bit, but that's
Oh,
badass.
yeah.
Yeah, so see, you can see on the left where it's
Yeah.
left left the sun, and on the right where it was coming into frame.
Wow.
Yeah, there you can
that
see
is
some where the solar panels are
cool.
sticking out more than others. You can see some of that structure.
See,
and
the
just
one
hints
that
of it.
the one that the YouTube channel, the Destin from Smarter Every Day, the one that he got, you can see solar panels. Like he got it clear enough to where you can see structure of the space station.
Got it.
Wow.
Anybody watching this, if you want to go watch his video on it, I'll get in touch with Svea later and I'll get the link to that video. in
Yeah,
the
if you
description
give me
if
the
guys wanna watch
link,
that.
I can put it into the show notes so people
Yeah.
can see the link.
Great video. It's a great watch. You will
Oh,
not regret seeing that.
So cool.
For anybody not watching this live right now, we'll have the show notes and stuff updated later tonight, definitely in the morning. But we tend Savannah will be up late putting putting
Yeah,
updates for the show.
yeah, for sure. This is so. Oh, I love this. This is so much fun.
So yeah, I only found out that I got that, like I said, like 5 or 6 days after I had already gotten home. So I didn't even know I had it when I was traveling back home. I was just like, oh yeah, cool eclipse. Yeah, it was a good old time. I'm gonna remember this the rest of my life.
Gotcha. Maya says, "Holy moly, that is so beyond amazing." Christian says, "Oh, cool." And Caroline Blackwood says, "I want to see the video that you're mentioning."
Mhm.
What
Oh.
Smarter Every Day put out.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
by
I
the
think
way-
she may be referring to the actual video you took of the total solar eclipse.
Unfortunately,
video
that
for
video is
YouTube.
not that great. Like I said with the scope, what I was mentioning about the alignment, doing that at night is easy because you've got the North Star to look at. From my angle, it's right up in this direction.
Yeah.
Middle of the day, you don't have the North Star to look at, so you are aligning that thing blind. You got to use a compass to get the right heading, and it can't be magnetic north. It's got to be true north.
Yeah.
So you have to get that degree right. You got to get your angle right because wherever you're at on the planet will change how high up off the horizon that the North Star is. So you have to get that right too.
Yeah.
Doing that
So-
blind, not easy.
Yeah, so
No.
everyone, we're gonna post the video that Curtis is talking about on YouTube. We're gonna put the link in the show notes after the show so you guys can see it.
For the record, not my video because it's really shaky and about 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so
Got it.
but just so you know, everyone is just saying, wow, these photos are so amazing. This is really cool. Just so you know, like from the
Thank you.
comments. I don't know if you can see it.
thank you guys. I
Wow.
appreciate the love.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Ah. Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, you know, we're actually getting toward that time. We knew we'd fill this easily.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to
Do you have more photos you want to share of things that you caught? Like
I have
star photos or
Okay, there's an interesting thing about eclipses. When they happen in pairs. If you have a solar eclipse, chances are 2 weeks later, you're going to have a lunar eclipse.
lunar eclipse?
And yes, I captured the lunar eclipse after the solar eclipse.
cool.
So this is the full moon right before the eclipse started. And I didn't take photos every minute or anything. I would take them like every 20 minutes. So you jump to the next shot. That's the Earth's shadow starting to move across the moon. And unfortunately, the camera I was using wasn't that great with light. So you didn't really get the unlit part very well. So as it progressed, just steadily got more and more covered. And then the camera adjusted and you've got that beauty.
Cool.
You still see
Nice.
some of the illuminated parts up in the top section that's still lit up by the sun. But that red part is why we keep calling it a blood moon when it gets a lunar eclipse, because it
Yeah.
turns a bright, deep red.
Mhm.
I think it may be fair to let people know that you can't just take any camera and shoot these photos or just stick them through a binoculars or anything. It is extremely difficult to shoot the moon where it doesn't look like a giant point of ball of light in the sky.
Yeah,
You have to have, it is hard to get any detail.
Mhm.
That shot that I showed you before, my current clearest photo, the only reason why it wasn't overexposed is because I've also got a lunar filter that I can put on the eyepiece of this thing that takes about 50% of the light away. So it makes it easier for the camera to adjust.
Yeah.
So Caroline's asking, how often do you use your telescope?
Probably every month and a half or so, I try and get it out because unfortunately, when there is a full moon, that knocks out all the good stuff to look at because that sucker's way too stinking bright. It literally bleaches out everything else that's good to look at. So full moon nights are not the best night to do regular stargazing like what I like to do. If you want to look at the moon, that's a great time to do it. If you want to look at some of the planets, that's fine. Anything else, wait 2 weeks because then you have a new moon and you have everything else available to you.
No kidding. I've been on a couple of river trips where we've had somebody bring a scope, and you know we're in areas like Canyonlands where it's designated dark, national park where it's designated dark skies,
Dark sky zone. Yeah.
and you have a full moon, we may be out there 5 days, and it's during the peak of that full moon. Go after, it's like, why even break out the scope? We're just
Don't
going to look
even-
at the moon again.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
Very much so. So, as the oh, sorry, wrong button. Dang it. Well, as the eclipse progressed, it kept getting darker and darker, and the camera kept getting really good photos. So let me get back to where I was at.
So James, the diameter of the sun is 864,938 miles.
Well, I said 800,000, so I was
That's
ballpark.
it? I thought it was bigger than that.
I was ballpark. What do you know? What do you
You're
know?
ballpark, you're right there.
Oh, look at that.
But this is finally when it went to total eclipse. The sun
Nice.
is no longer illuminating it. It is only being lit up by light that's gone through Earth's atmosphere. That's why it's all red like that. Basically, you get a total 360 sunset kind of effect. That's what paints the moon red.
That's so cool.
And it kept getting darker and darker and darker and darker.
No, I think that I was at Disneyland when that happened. So I think I took a picture of it by the tiki room.
Oh, gotcha.
It's really
Well,
funny.
it is the magical, the happiest place on Earth. So by the time
Yeah.
you saw something magical there, right?
Yeah. I think that it was a cloudy night, like what you were saying, like it always seems like there's a clouds whenever there's some kind of like eclipse or whatnot.
Mhm.
But yeah, there were clouds and the clouds had moved and we were able to see a bit of it. So
Okay. We have a couple of questions coming in right now that are probably worth relaying.
Go for it.
From Vivian, she says, do you believe that there is other life than on Earth in the Milky Way? Which kind of ties in with what Christy Nieto is asking. No pictures of UFOs or weird stuff?
Yeah, no pictures of UFOs or weird stuff. Those things move too goddamn fast. As far as life in the Milky Way, it's in my opinion that you would be naive to say there isn't. Because the sheer number of how many planets are around, the sheer number of stars that are just in our little galaxy, you got the game of numbers playing for you in this one. There's got to be at least a handful of dozen that will have life on it. Maybe not how we think life is. It might be a different form of life, the way it happened on that planet. Who knows? But yeah, you would be, like I said, you'd be naive to say that there's no other life out there.
Well, what is, I mean, if we're going to go ahead and there's a theory out there that postulates the number of habitable planets. And I forget what is the name of it, because they go ahead and just make an arbitrary number of what there might be. So you have something to start off with. We really don't know. Though we're starting to get ideas with all the number of exoplanets, because there's like over 2,000 exoplanets that have been found now.
More than that, we're up into the tens of thousands.
Oh, we're in the tens of thousands. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew, I'm up on that one. At least I was right about the diameter of the sun.
Yeah.
But for anybody that doesn't know, exoplanet are planets that we have found outside of our own solar system. So we're talking like beyond the orbit of Pluto, the Kuiper Belt. We're talking other solar systems, suns with planets around, stars with planets around them. That is an exoplanet. I'm still captivated by the TRAPPIST-9 system. But what do you remember what it is that says that if you have, 1% out of the trillion stars we have in the Milky Way galaxy, that if you have 1% of that 1 trillion stars, 1% that has a sun-like star, and then 1% of that still has a planet that is habitable for life that we know it, that still puts it into what, the millions?
Yeah, it's still in the millions. It's still an absurd number.
Yeah.
Like 1% of 1% of 1% of 1%, and you still have a 7 or 8 digit number. It's insane.
Yeah. When I was in college, my professors, they all didn't believe. They all had said, oh, we don't believe that there's any alien life. And I'm just like, yeah, that just doesn't seem like that's even remotely possible.
I think
it's very egocentric as a human race to think there's no other life. And like what you guys are saying, and this, even that 1% chance that there's that 1% of the one, it's still a lot.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier when it came to, like, say, UFOs, if you've seen them or not. What was the words of the effect here? And we just did it here like 25 minutes ago. Just because you don't know what it is doesn't mean you know what it isn't.
Yeah.
Or something close like that. So the thing would be like, I don't think there can't, there's no life out there because we don't know that there's life out there, but we don't know that there isn't either.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So I think it's about
Proving of
spectrum.
an
I'm
absence
not,
doesn't prove the object itself. So
Yeah.
Mhm. Cool. Yeah. So, I mean, this is crazy because like we're like, yeah, let's try. We always try to keep it at an hour, but that's just not going to happen. There's just way too much cool conversation going on right now.
we do
It's
have
just-
to draw a line in the sand at some point with this one because
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those damn shows we can go 2-3 hours.
I
Curtis, you up for
know.
round 2?
I'll tell you what. I'll just there's one last thing I want to touch on about my previous experience. You mentioned how not every camera can do astrophotography. You're
Yeah.
right. It also has to do with the mount. I mentioned that I've got the camera mount for a regular DSLR once I get one, but that doesn't help with cell phones. So what I did was I got myself, like well before the Eclipse even started, I got myself a cell phone mount. I did some shopping online. I came across this one. This one really intrigued me the most, so this is the one I went with. Let me get it up here real quick.
Is that the one that I think I saw it on the share screen briefly?
Yeah, for a quick second, I had this mount. This was advertised as a universal cell phone mount for telescopes and binoculars. Not so universal, and you'll hear why in a minute. The only thing that's universal about it is how it mounts to the scope. When you squeeze those two handles, those little 4 nubs open up uniformly, and when you let go, it grips down on the eyepiece and holds it in place. And that little hole in the center is exactly where the camera of your cell phone looks through.
Okay.
So works great. If the tension arm of the holder doesn't press the volume up button on your phone.
Oh no!
So
I hate that. I hate that, dude. Yeah.
So yeah, I had this issue to deal with before the Eclipse. I mean, I dealt with this here in SoCal before I left, so I didn't want to leave this to chance by the time I got up there. But I'm like, how am I going to make this work? The thing's going to be constantly zooming in. I can't use the screen anymore because it's not going to take any feedback because it's got button going on. So I had to come up with a solution. James, you remember those AA cell mini mags that had the spare light bulb sleeve and the battery
Yes,
cap?
I do.
I took an old one of those. I cut and burned a little hole inside of it, just the right size for the volume button, so that it can fit over the volume button and still hold in
Nice.
place.
Nice.
That's
So
smart.
that was my solution. It worked out beautifully. It's a little finicky because sometimes if you bump it wrong, the whole thing will like explode out like a Jack in the Box out of a box.
Or my
Mm.
temper when the ice cream truck goes by when I'm recording things.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or your telescope gets knocked a teeny bit. Yes.
Teeny bit, and then Pluto gets knocked out of your view. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was my solution to that problem. And once I got that handled, that started my photography bit. That literally enabled me to be able to take the photos that I showed you today. Every photo
Cool.
that I've shown you was taken with this exact setup.
Thank you,
Wow.
flashlight.
Yep. Thank you, Minimag. Your parts were useful even after I was done with the scope, or after I
Gotcha.
was done with the flashlight.
I get back to it. Do you feel like would you be up for round 2
Absolutely.
to finish this?
Mhm.
We definitely would like you back. We got
Well, 'cause we
Couple
still got
guess
to talk
what?
about perseverance and all that jazz.
I
oh
know,
yeah,
there's
we need
so
to
many
touch on that
things
soon.
we haven't even talked about. Oh my goodness.
There's stuff we thought we were hoping to touch on, a whole litmus of things we know we probably wouldn't get to, but we really want to. When we get done with the show, we'll talk about a new date
Okay.
Yes.
sooner than later.
Deal.
Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, we
Because-
didn't even really do any Q&A. Like, if there's any Q&A, more questions,
Well,
and
we
then
still
we
got
have
some
our
time
other
for a Q&A
bits.
if we have any.
Yeah, we still have we bring in our overtime. We still have about 20 minutes we could do on this in the Q&A because we have a lot of Q&A.
So we have people that are saying yes, round 2, please.
Oh, it's happening. It's
Yeah.
happening
Okay.
as long as Curtis is willing.
I'm willing.
Do we want to do Q&A, a little bit of Q&A now, and sacrifice the last bit, or do we
So
want
I
to
have
go
an
do that
idea.
last
Why
bit?
don't we tell everyone? Okay, guys.
Okay.
Think of your questions and type them in the comments, because we'll actually ask Curtis all of those questions, as long as they're nice questions. Keep it clean, people. But we
What kind
have.
of audience do you have here?
I know, right?
They range. We have a couple that get creative.
It's
Right.
late night craft talk, but there are a few young adults or young almost adults that are watching the
minds.
show.
we have a couple very faithful watchers that are younger
Mhm.
that we keep clean because
saw
we know they're watching. And we
Christy's
appreciate
like,
that.
"Oh, lame."
Actually,
We're not
you know
talking
what?
about you, Christy, but we're talking about you. Okay.
One last tidbit. I mentioned that I had a couple of transit shots. There's one I haven't shown you yet.
Oh yeah,
And
We're gonna
good.
do it.
this is the last one I got to show you. And after this, all the photos I have to share, that's it. I promise. This is actually a transit of Mercury. Might be a little harder
Ooh,
to see
nice.
because Mercury is really stinking tiny. And as we talked about, the sun is really stinking big. So I almost missed this one because it happened
Oh, look
early
at
in the
that.
morning. And I overslept my alarm. So I almost missed this entirely. You can barely see it, but there's Mercury right there in the middle. Let me zoom in.
Oh my gosh.
Barely see it. There he is. There's Mercury right there.
So what is that passing in front of a planet?
That's the
a planet.
sun.
That's a planet
that's
passing in front of the sun.
The sun.
Yeah,
That
that's the
is
sun
passing
right
in front of
here.
the sun.
And
Okay.
That little wee dot I showed you, that's actually the first planet in our solar system. That's Mercury.
Mercury's only like
Wow.
what, 16 million miles from the sun? What's the math on this?
It's close. It's really,
close.
really close. It's just over an eighth of the distance from the sun as the Earth is.
Yeah.
Cool.
And interesting. I'm gonna throw a little fact. Audience, tell me if I'm right or wrong, or this is a true or false. We know Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. Is it also one of the coldest planets in the solar system? True or false? Let me know as we go on here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we still have one more segment to do in the show. Do we want to do this or we want to go Q&A?
Let's do the segment and let people put in their questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
While we do the segment.
We will do
some time
that.
for questions to come in. We'll do
This is a new segment, guys, that we came up with for our show. You guys are gonna love it. It's gonna be fun.
Let me give the intro for it right quick. I'm skipping past the Perseverance landing because we thought we were going to get to that tonight. We'll save it for the next show.
The next time.
Okay, so let me quick here. All right. So this is a new segment we're calling Facebook Fact Check. And specifically, Savea brought this up, is that she forwarded us a video on Monday that talked about Oreo cake. These guys took some Oreos and some milk and a coffee mug, and they did this to it.
So apparently you can make cake using only Oreos.
Oreo only? No way! That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, you just add milk and crush it up.
Ah, just throw the mug in the microwave?
Yeah, the mug-crowave?
The mug-crowave? Dude, we gotta try this. Roll with it. It's fine, I hope.
Okay.
Ready? He only put a little bit, he put about that much right there, I think.
That seems good.
I know, it felt good. Now just crush it up. Oh, that is satisfying.
I want a drink today.
That is so satisfying. There's no way this actually works, right? I thought you need flour and all these other things that I hate buying. Check this out. That's looking nice and thick.
Oh yeah, you looking thick, shouty.
Looking thick. And 2 minutes. That'll work.
Come on, did it
Oh,
work?
Did it work? Did it work? Did it work? Oh, bro.
Ooh.
See what this looks like here. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's nice and spongy.
Ooh, look at that.
Dude,
Bro, that's a real hack right
it's the
there.
best cake I ever made.
Yeah.
Hands down, without question, you guys got to do this.
How is that even possible?
So, I just thought, I don't believe that. That's what I was thinking. You know what? What if we just fact check the Facebook video that we just watched? So we'll fact checked it and test it ourselves. And this is a science episode.
Yeah, so let's do it.
Yeah. James, we can't hear you.
I know that because I muted my mic and then I didn't. And now I did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
okay.
you two want to go get set up and then you give an introduction. I'll go get set up.
Yes.
Leave dead space
I'm
for the
gonna
show
mute
anything.
I'm going to mute my camera
Okay.
and I'm going to head over there really quick.
All right.
And
So
I
I'll
will
go
be
ahead and
back
talk to
shortly.
some of the audience right quick. If you two want to go get set up and then you can talk to them and I'll go in and get set up with so I can fill time. All right. So just relay some of the questions right here to see if we got anybody that answered about, is Mercury one of the coldest planets also in the solar system? And I'm going over here, MacIver. I don't see any answers yet. Okay. The answer is yes, because Mercury is tidally locked against the sun, which means as it orbits, the planet also rotates, but it's rotating at the same point, at the same speed as it faces the sun. So the the same side of Mercury is always facing the sun, no matter where it's in its rotational orbit around it. And that means that the dark side of Mercury is always in the dark. And because of that, it's very, very cold. And hence, yes, it's also one of the coldest planets in the solar system. That said, I'm smart. Wait for Sabay and Curtis to sign back on. Let me go ahead and take a look at some of the other questions and comments we have right here. All right, we got Sabay in her kitchen. And it looks like we have Curtis right back. So, Sabay, you got the floor. I'm going to mute my camera. I'm going to head over to the kitchen. You good?
Okay.
All right.
Hey guys, so like we're really excited about this because I was thinking, hey, let's try it out. What I chose to do, because I know James, he actually did a he's doing a regular Oreo. I decided I wanted to do the carrot cake Oreo because that's one of my favorite Oreos and I love carrot cake. So I'm actually going to use the carrot cake Oreo, which is this one here.
Yeah, I'm still gonna hold that
And-
against you that you're not sharing those.
So what you're supposed to do, guys, is I guess you put stack of the Oreos inside the mug, right?
Let's use 4, right?
And I have to get my milk really quick.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm using regular
So I'm
Oreo.
gonna mix this around.
Take us to Lady Gaga.
Okay, so you're gonna take
Oreos.
a stack of Oreos and you put it inside your
So I'm doing. How many are you putting in?
just smash it up.
Got 4 Oreos.
You should put in probably about six to eight, depending on how big your mug is.
All right, I got 6.
So like I grabbed initially when I did it, I grabbed 2 and then I grabbed like, I think 2
I'm
more.
gonna take the fork
So like
this.
I did like 6, 7.
You gonna pre-crush it before you put the milk in?
Okay.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
put
you gotta
mine
crush
in.
it up.
This isn't exactly the big slug in the world.
I'm crunching
So
away.
I was prepped a little bit more
Thickener.
and I just used the food processor.
This is a lot of work.
I know
I'm
it's
gonna do
like
one
kind of
more.
cheating, isn't it?
Hey, what's some? Can anybody see in the commentary we're getting? I should have used the blender.
I just figured I would use the food processor because I figured will just make it a little bit more chunky.
Oh, I got you.
How you do it
A lot of work.
doing the cheesecake
I'm adding milk, so I gotta
crust.
start.
Yeah. So when you add the milk, you're gonna add milk when it's what was I gonna say, till it's like a kind of like a cake batter consistency.
Those all got it down to a powder, didn't they?
Yeah, till like kind of like a chunky.
I'm getting there.
Not sure if this works. This is gonna become a new astronomy snack.
I'm gonna do one more. How much does that? How much it look like that cake roast that they had? How much? I'm gonna take a bite.
I don't know. Like I'm using a big mug actually.
Okay, I'm chopping. This is what's looking like so well.
So like that
Wait,
looks, yeah, this, see, I mean, you want it to be kind of like a chunky kind of oatmeal, but
oatmeal, we know what's going to do. This is science. Where would this be in the scientific process? This would be confirming results of somebody else's findings.
Yeah.
Independent verification, I think we call it,
Yes.
right?
That's it.
Yep.
yeah, we're confirming that this is really gonna work. And like, I just use like the standard milk.
Yeah.
And
Well, those
you
guys have
probably
to
use
be
that
pretty-
free milk.
I got my little Aries
Okay,
mug.
so James is mixing that stuff and Curtis is mixing his, yeah.
I think I might need another cookie.
Okay, guys, you almost ready?
I keep on eating Oreos too.
Totally, guys. But yeah, if in case you guys didn't notice, because Curtis freaked out when I said this, I'm like, they do make carrot cake Oreos.
Didn't even know
And this is actually a big size. Yeah, they're really good because
red velvet ones.
it says a carrot cake. Okay, so it says here it's a carrot cake flavored cookie with cream cheese frosting. That's what it is. Look at this cup.
Lady Gaga.
And so the adventure begins. I think this is a cute cup. Okay.
Okay, I think I'm just about ready.
I'm gonna take mom's oatmeal out. I'm taking mom's oatmeal out. This is my mom's oatmeal for the morning. She likes to leave it in overnight.
What is the sun
Okay.
I could do in the trail? All right, I'm gonna
Okay,
try.
I put mine in
You
there.
already got milk, Curtis?
I'm getting there. There's a couple chunks in here.
All right, I'll go crunch a little bit more than flour.
Okay, how's it going, James? Did you finish? You're almost done? Curtis, you guys almost done?
I'm about ready. Let me grab some milk.
You're about ready?
I'm ready. This is for science.
Oh, I
Are you
already
guys
Science
so
to heck.
excited? We're gonna have, if it works, it's gonna be good, or it could be totally weird, right?
I'm gonna do, I think, yeah, the ratio, well, we'll know. We're doing it for America, for the children. They did about half.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I would do it where you just have it so that all of the cookie is actually just moistened.
That's what I'm doing.
So it can be a little, yeah.
I'm gonna do a little bit by little bit. You can always add to a little bit.
Yes.
Just be a little conservative with the milk. Okay, I'm mixing it up.
You can make it so that there's enough milk in there, so it's a little bit like a cake batter
That's what I'm
consistency.
working on.
Because that's what they did in the video.
There's a lot of stuff at the bottom. Got to mix to make it because it was kind of thick, like a yogurt, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but I bet you if it has a little bit of water or a little bit, it's okay. Because they didn't even have a measurement. They just went based off of consistency, you know?
The Oreos are going to dissolve pretty quick in the milk anyways, but I gotta add more Oreos.
Yeah, you know what the heck? When you're eating Oreos regularly, you ever notice how quickly they disintegrate? When you're eating regular Oreos, they fall apart really quick, but now they're just rock stinking hard.
Why don't you put some milk in there? Maybe it'll help soften.
Even the Oreos are not showing consistent behavior when dipped in milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the quantum.
Did you put your milk in already?
Sorry, what?
Did you put your milk in already?
I'll be honest, I put mine in pretty early.
Curtis, you put milk in? Oh. You know what? That's okay, because actually, James, put your milk in there because they'll help soften it.
I already put the milk in there.
Okay.
The problem is I need to add more Oreos.
Okay, guys.
I didn't too much milk and it's pretty runny.
Yeah, see, I thought I did the same thing, so I added another cookie.
All right, now I'm starting to get where I want
Yeah,
to be.
see, I think that.
I think I'm there, guys.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
So I set my microwave for 2 minutes.
Working on
So
it.
if you guys want to set yours for 2 minutes. But yeah, make sure you take your metal spoon out.
Yes.
Well, how
That
am
could
I
be-
supposed to stir it without the metal spoon?
No, I'm saying
I put water in the microwave.
don't put the metal spoon in the microwave and run
Is
it.
that the same reason why I don't stick a fork in the toaster?
Yeah.
Well, probably actually more reasons why I would stick the fork in the toaster.
All right. I think I'm about there,
Okay.
guys.
So it looks like Curtis is about ready. James, are you almost ready?
Very close. Wow. This is not thickening up like I was hoping.
Huh.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
well,
go with
James,
it.
it's an
I'm
experiment.
gonna go with it.
Yeah,
Okay,
just go with it. How's that taste? Yeah, put it at 2 minutes.
Hey,
Okay, so
have you
James is
started
doing
yet?
2 minutes. I'm starting mine. Okay, I'm starting it right now. You see my little mug spinning in the microwave.
Got mine going too.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't see
It's in the
James.
microwave.
Okay, so it'll be
Are you guys good,
interesting. What do you guys think? Do you think this is really real? Like, because you know how they have a lot of those videos that are not really even real. They're like totally fake videes.
I'll be honest, I'm more skeptical about this than I am life in outer space.
So you know how like there's videos where there's that guy and he's like doing these weird hand tricks where like he puts an egg in vinegar and he bounces it and does all kinds of weird things like that.
Mhm.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, is this really real? Like, we should try this. Okay, looks like we're a minute down, right? Starting to smell good in here, actually.
Just in case I'm going to put a paper towel over
Can
the
you
mug.
guys smell? Can you guys smell chocolate?
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
I smell carrot cake.
I'm still jealous of you.
Oh my god, it smells so good.
You ain't going to do that. I've never been a fan personally of carrot cake for some reason.
That's fine. More for the rest of us.
You know, Cass can
I'm
open the
like
door.
scared,
Just watch one.
turns out.
Should be almost done.
Yeah, I know. Let's see.
40 more seconds. Those guys did 2 minutes, but I think that they because
How many more seconds?
Those guys did they put one
Got 20 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I think
How much
Curtis did his right when I did mine.
Yeah, I tried hitting mine right when you
Okay.
hit yours.
Yeah.
Mine
Okay,
should be done in
so
about 20 seconds.
Curtis, when it comes out, let's wait till James. Wait, take it out, but wait till James has his out before we like show what happened.
Yeah, I got to grab a clean
Mine
plate.
will be out in like 10 seconds.
Okay.
All right, let me go get mine.
Okay, I'm getting a fork too because
I'll be damned. It's a cake.
okay, look at you guys. Look inside.
I should have done a little bit more on the bottom.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Dang.
That looks like carrot cake. I think
Nice
mine
and
needs to
spongy,
cook
too.
a little longer, but it looks pretty good. Like
This is not bad.
that looks like carrot cake.
I will be right
Let me
back.
try it.
Okay.
Let's
This
see.
is
Let's
what we
try
got.
this.
This is what I got in here, and it is. I'll dip it up. That right here's the camera. It's legit cake
There's
in there.
the camera.
It is real.
We'll show mine here real quick. Like, that's a full-on good Oreo sponge cake right there.
Oh yeah, same right here. A
Wow, this is really amazing.
Astounded.
little bit of frosting on it. This is real. Those guys Facebook
This-
fact check. It is indeed a
This is
fact.
this is really cool. Look at that. It's like carrot cake, guy.
I'm actually going to zap mine for
Oh
another
my
30
goodness.
seconds.
Legit
Still a
Oreo.
little moist. I'm going to give mine another 30 seconds.
Yeah, I
on the
think I would
microwave.
cook my longer.
I'm gonna wander back into the off. I'm gonna wander back
Yeah.
to the school with my
Yeah, I
my
think
cake.
I would do it for another. Okay, guys, if you guys haven't had a chance to put in your questions, hurry up and put in your questions. We're going to be answering questions in a couple seconds. Wow, this is good. I'll put it in a little longer. Whoop.
I like the cake a little drier. Oh, yeah. That looks good.
And see, I'm going to put it in for a little longer because it'd be a little more cooked.
I am back on the surface of the moon. My Oreo
Did you
cake.
say 30 seconds?
This is my new astronomy snack when I'm going to be out in the field.
Okay.
This is delicious.
Some of the
This is really, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Right. What?
I'm gonna go ahead and go through some of the comments while you're doing that. Let's see here. We got a lot of comments on that. Hurry up! I'm hungry. Waiting. Carol Ann says I'm not wasting Oreos until I know how it turns out. How much milk though? Or about half of what the
That's
volume you have
good.
in there is the powder.
I had to
This
put
is
crushed
it in
Oreos.
good.
there.
I'm so excited.
Lucky Christy says put it in the microwave. Lol. I have 2 of those carrot cake Oreos. Carol Ann says it's going to splatter inside your microwave. No, it did not.
It did not. To
Just in
prove
case I
that-
put a paper towel over mine.
To prove that, I was daring, if you'll take a look, I was daring and did not put any kind of paper towel or anything underneath the cup. And to reveal, inside of the microwave is still perfectly clean.
Yeah.
No
So I put a
splatter,
paper
no
towel on
nothing.
top of mine, and no problems. There's really nothing in there that'll make it go pop, anyways.
No, not really. if you put too much milk in there, it might bubble up a bit, but it cooks out pretty quick.
It cooks out pretty quick. Christy says, I don't know. All I want is a damn Oreo now, and I'm on a diet.
Oh, we are sorry, girl.
Vivian says, I would have had my cake mixed, baked, and frosted by the time you finished. Well, you know, Vivian, this is science, and science moves slow.
I don't know. That was a quick cake. That was a really stinking quick cake.
Yeah, it was.
Like 3-4 minutes ago, I had cookies.
Well, if Vivian is indeed as quick as she said, I'm just going to venture to guess when she would have had her cake frosted, which means she would already had it, went out and bought it at the supermarket and then come out and take it out of the fridge because she bought it earlier. Oh, Vivian's going to beat me for that one. It was good.
How's your dark chocolate one, James?
All right. Christy says, hi, James, and the mom and the dog. Apparently the dog was in the shot. Okay, Caroline says, I'm going to try this at home also. Okay. As we're doing this, let's see if we got any Q&A, because I'm going to have to scroll up earlier. Let's see if we got any questions for Curtis. Okay. There's a lot of commentary here.
I can't wait to look through it. After this video is over, I'll go through the comments and see what anybody
Got
said.
it.
There's some that weren't asked that I can answer. I will.
Okay. Christy says X-Files theme and song plays. That goes to our commentary about alien life earlier.
Yeah.
Vivian says, I think I heard 9 planets. I don't know what that's up to, but yeah.
Oh, you can't hear me, guys, right? Whoops.
Now we can hear you.
Okay. Curtis, at what age did you become fascinated with astronomy?
Astronomy. Okay, so the first time I ever looked through a scope was, okay, so that first picture that I showed you guys, the difference between the reflector and the refractor. Like I mentioned, the refractor was the first telescope I ever used. My dad bought it from some store in the mall back when I was like 8 years old. We took it in the backyard, set it up, and the first thing I ever looked at was Saturn. And I saw the rings of Saturn on my own first time. That blew my mind, absolutely. So after that, I was just constantly enamored with it. And like they say, you get better at something by teaching it. I took that opportunity when I was 13, and I became a camp counselor for Camp Emerson. My first 3 years, I was the astronomy counselor.
Oh, cool.
So I got better at it by teaching it. So, any other questions?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just like enjoying my.
Yeah. What is your favorite place to go looking at the galaxy? Or wait, what is your favorite place to go look at the galaxy? So where's your favorite place to go looking stargazing?
Favorite place is anywhere out in the middle of nowhere. If I had to pick an area, the astronomy club that I'm a member of, Riverside Astronomical Society, we actually have a location. If you look at the hat I'm wearing, it's called GMARS. It's called Goat Mountain Astronomical Research Station. It's located out in Landers, California, north of Yucca Valley. And the dark skies there are beautiful. I mean, you get a little bit of light from Morongo because it's not too far away, but it's minimal. So that's the best place to go.
So your favorite?
Go a little bit further, go out past Sheep Hole Valley Wilderness, some of the darkest skies in Southern California. It's another hour.
I've been out there a few times. That's great.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What's your favorite planet or star to study or galaxy to study?
Favorite planet to look at would be Jupiter, because it kind of illustrates how fast Jupiter spins. Like one day on Jupiter is actually a little faster than a day on Earth. And if you catch it at the right time, you can actually see the red spot go across. It takes a little time to notice the difference, but you can see it. Galaxies, what would I say is the best galaxy that I looked at? Oh, there's the Pinwheel Galaxy. It's similar to Milky Way, how it's a spiral galaxy. So the Pinwheel Galaxy has a lot of arms that go around, so you get a nice, good view of it. Nebula-wise, my favorite, and it's the same as what my mom's favorite was, rest in peace, was M42, or the Orion Nebula.
Orion.
And James, earlier when I was asking you about that photo that you showed me, I think that was actually M42. Like now that I think about it, there's a couple of parts of that photo that you showed me. It looked like the Orion Nebula. That's why I was like, how did I not see that?
I'm going to look it up after the show. I was going to go look up the file name on that one to make sure, see which nebula it was. Now that we're not getting a lot of stuff done, we're getting ready for the show. Okay. See if we got any more questions.
Where do we buy carrot cake Oreos? Okay, you can buy them at the regular grocery store.
I want the answer to that one.
Christy says that they wanted to do questions, but she got distracted with the cake.
Not difficult.
Science and cooking. A cooking show.
Oh, Caroline says there's a mocha Oreo.
Really?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking.
Well, we had everybody here. We're like, ooh, science. Oh, food.
So the milk, Maya's asking how much milk. It's just enough milk to kind of make it like kind of a batter consistency, I think. I think that's the best way to describe it. And if it's too wet afterwards, you can just cook it a little bit more in the microwave.
You want to do a gallery view again right now? We're showing up one at a time on Facebook.
Oh, whoops. Actually, what I'll do is I'll do speaker view and then I'll do gallery view because it's stuck. Okay. So I'm scrolling down through.
For anybody who doesn't know that when we spotlight somebody or we do one person Facebook, what we see in our screens is not necessarily what appears on Facebook. We see each other next to it. You're seeing us one at a time. So we got to go through this process a little bit so you can see all three of us on the screen at once.
So, okay, you guys, they asked, what does the cake taste like?
All right, we're good.
Does it taste like chocolate cake for you guys? You use regular Oreos?
It's a sponge cake. It's a chocolate sponge cake.
Yeah.
Okay, so James, would you say yours has more of a chocolatey flavor? Because you use the chocolate or use regular?
I use regular Oreo.
Okay. So it's like a chocolate cake flavor?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's like carrot. It tastes like carrot cake. Okay, let's see. I'm scrolling down. Okay, let's see. Okay.
People are working are breaking Oreos in the microwaves right
now. This was fun. Oh my goodness. So James, do we have a couple more pictures to show on our slideshow?
Yes, we do. Okay. So if anybody's noticed Savea's background, that is not the Pillars of Creation, which is a nebula. That is her painting of the Pillars of Creation. And for a clear view of that, let me get that up so we can see this because we want to share it. This is a really special piece that Savea showed us this evening, and I don't think anybody's seen it before tonight.
No, they haven't.
This is her painting right here.
So this painting, actually, when I was at school, at Arizona State, I did a year of astronomy, so 2 semesters of astronomy. And that's why this stuff like totally just makes me really excited because astronomy is just so cool. And this painting is a painting of the Horsehead Nebula. And what was really exciting about it is that my professor at ASU was involved with the project to take this photo with the Hubble telescope. So I just love the picture so much that I did a painting of it. And in the painting, I also added elements of the Hubble Space Telescope's solar panels. So that's what that kind of grid design is up there. And there's also a chart on there, like a graph, which is Hubble theory, which is the further out you get, the less there is. So like that was the theory of that. And there's actually his formulas in the middle of that painting, kind of between the 2 little guys. It's right in the middle. But I used a bunch of metallic paint. I used iridescent paint. And I have this it's one of the paintings I just love. It's totally separate, different from my style of painting, but I've always loved this painting and think back of like how that was such a very inspirational time.
It's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, we doing Fluff and Cutie tonight?
Huh?
We doing Cute and Fluffy tonight to end the show?
Yes, of course.
Okay, folks, we introduced this 2 weeks ago. I forget actually the name of it. So basically Cute and Fluffy. We showed Princess Leia last week. Fuzzy moments. That's it. So let me get past that right here, and we go to fuzzy moments. First week we premiered Princess Leia. Last week we showed Princess Leia playing with a pen as compared to what was it? The rabbit eating. Tonight we bring you a very cerebral moment Actually, not really. We bring you my cat, Mr. Cleaver's chasing a sunbeam. She's the oldest cat, the best shape we have. She's probably 16 or 17 years old. And there's a reason she's probably lived so long. She's kind of dumb.
It's not her
It's
smart.
not, it's not moving.
She does this every morning. The sun's shining through. There's a little bay, and she walks up and she's looking at it going, every morning.
Get out of my house. Get out of my house.
She's too stupid to know she's old. She probably lived to be 30. But she is, yeah, she's, if there was a top 50 of the smartest cats, she's on the bottom 50 of the list.
Yes, well.
I don't know if that makes sense right there because it's not supposed to, because she's just a dumb cat. Anyway.
So Maya said, I read that there's a crab nebula and a star that's named Maya. And that's her name's Maya.
I'd be surprised if there's a star named Maya, but there is a crab nebula, and that's a pretty good one too. Forget exactly where that one's at, but it's a good one.
Yay. All right. So can you believe it? It's been an hour and a half.
We are at the golden hour. We are at the cutoff time we give ourselves.
That went quick.
Yes.
Oh,
it
yeah.
went so fast. Like I can't even, like, we were having so much fun. So I'm very much forward looking. I'm very excited looking forward about our show that we're going to have when you come back.
Part 2.
Hopefully sooner than later. We'll talk about it. We're going to close the show. We'll talk about it. Folks, we'll make an announcement. We bring Curtis back. We definitely like you back.
Yes.
To finish what we started tonight.
You're a great guest.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Love to come back anytime. I love doing this.
Cool. All right. So we need to do a little one more piece of unfinished business. We need to introduce next week's show. Next week is we're closing in on St. Patrick's Day, so we're having a St. Patrick's Day special.
Yay!
Without the Guinness.
Yay.
I don't drink. Spade doesn't drink.
Maybe there'll be a pot of gold, eh?
Yep.
And a rainbow and a pot of gold, and maybe
Can I tell the story of the leprechaun thing? Leprechaun conversation.
Sure.
Okay. So Sabine and we message each other through the week talking about who's going to do what the next week's show. We planned it out several weeks ahead of time. I said, hey, let's do a St. Patrick's Day themed episode. She goes, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, I like the idea. You can come on as the leprechaun. I went, why can't you be the leprechaun? She goes, I can't do an Irish accent.
He can do it though.
No, I can't. What makes you think I can do that? Yeah. I'm mixing it up. It takes a little warm up to do it right.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to do Cold War like
it's
that.
hard because when we do the show and I got to like switch between characters, I got to switch between accents. I got to warm up for like 15 minutes so I can jump over it and make sure I don't switch into like a Scottish accent.
You know, it still would be better than my accent.
Gotcha.
Ireland and Scotland are only separated by a border.
Exactly. There could be Scottish leprechauns. You don't know.
Well, we just go all around here. There could be South American leprechauns, Asian leprechauns.
I'm a little concerned about Russian leprechauns.
Well, what kind?
Russian leprechauns. I'm a little worried about those buggers.
Hey, you know what?
Oh wait, no, those are called gremlins.
What country are you from if you want food?
Yeah.
Hungry.
Hungry.
What country are you from if you need to go to the bathroom? European. I heard from a rodeo announcer in rural Texas. I think they're related. They may identify with Mr. Peepers in the intelligence level when you talk about countries and say European. They probably chase sunlight in the morning.
Probably.
Probably.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, it was a great show.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was cool. All right, everybody. We'll announce and we'll have Curtis back so we can finish off what we started this evening. Curtis, thank you much. This is a damn fun show.
I'm glad I got to share my photos with you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
We're very much so glad too.
cool.
All right. So everybody, this has been the latest episode of Late Night Craft Talk.
And we dance.
And we dance to the music.
Yes, so feel free to dance with us, okay?
Oh, ain't he cute?